Hello and welcome to the Talk Villa podcast. I'm your host, Sumit Paul, and disappointingly, Aston Villa fell to a 2-1 defeat to PSG as our bid to land the UEFA Super Cup fell short in Salzburg on Wednesday night. However, although it wasn't the outcome that we wanted, there were so many positives to take from the game, given the performance that Villa put in as a collective, while we also saw certain individuals make a really impressive impact against the very best in Europe. I'll pick out my 5 key talking points from the game, and there'll be more analysis on Brian Madjo coming up on the Talk Villa YouTube channel after he put in a particularly eye-catching display in this game. But let's start with Maatsen as part of my 5 key talking points, as I thought he was one of the standout performers in this game. Now, with Luca Dean completing his move to PSG earlier this week, he leaves a void behind in the Villa squad, which is expected to be filled by Matteo Ruggeri in the coming days. Having missed pre-season prior to his exit as well, given he was granted an extended post-World Cup break, this summer has been an opportunity for Maatsen to really establish himself as the clear first-choice option at left-back, and I thought he saved his best performance of the summer for this game. He was solid in defence from the first minute. He went up against Achraf Hakimi in direct duels, and I thought he dealt with that really effectively. He was dangerous going forward as he provided us with width and an attacking outlet down the left flank. And I just thought it was an excellent shift in both phases of the game as he looks to now fend off the incoming competition for what he will feel is his starting spot. This display was certainly the right way to go about doing that, and I was just really impressed with Maatsen. I thought he stood out with his performance in this game. On to the second point, and that is Emery relishing his leading role. I personally think it's been really clear in pre-season that Buendia's been tasked with a pivotal creative role this year. He's relished both the freedom to express himself in that position, along with taking on more leadership and more responsibility. His movement in the final third, coupled with the technical quality in possession to link things together and emerge as a direct threat at times too, with his ability to crash the box, indicates to me that he's going from strength to strength after his comeback arc last year. He'll need to be a consistent source of goal involvements though. I think that's an absolute necessary part of it in order for him to be a decisive figure for us. But I think along with John McGinn, who also improved as the game went on in this one and put in countless dangerous deliveries into the box from that right-hand side, I think that duo are going to be so important both in the short term with their quality on the pitch, but also in the longer term in setting the tone and the example for the younger players around them. So Buendia, another really impressive performance, and I think he is going to relish that role that he's got in a more central area to pull the strings and be our most creative spark in that area of the pitch. On to the third point, and that is George Hemmings playing his way into Emery's plans. Now, it's fair to say that Hemmings has come a long way since that nervous display against RB Salzburg in the Europa League last season. He was substituted at half-time in that game as I just thought he looked very nervous and very shaky in that deeper midfield role. We've seen how impressive he looks at youth level, and there's no doubt that he's highly rated and highly regarded by everyone at Villa, so hopefully there's a bright future ahead of him. His position has been tweaked. He's enjoyed his best performances in pre-season in that left-sided number 10 role. And this was a perfect test to see how he might fare against elite opposition taking that next step up. I thought he showed clever movement again, as he has done through pre-season, in finding space and time to influence our build-up play. He was able to drive forward with the ball with positive intent to create openings. And I thought his work ethic out of position to play his part in a spirited team effort was really important in dealing with PSG trying to dominate possession. He may well have played his way into being part of our squad for the upcoming season, but that will be a decision for Emery to make in the coming days and weeks. I do see the other side of it. A loan stint elsewhere would certainly aid his development. He'll likely play more regularly somewhere else on loan. He'll gain more experience and improve through that. But he's also shown a marked improvement over the last 6 months while he's still been with us internally. And so I think he could emerge as a really key option for Emery to have at his disposal this season if he chooses to keep him at the club. On to the fourth point, and that is Brian Madjo delivers, but there's so much more to come from the youngster. Now, he will be kicking himself, no doubt, for some of the chances that he missed in the first half. But the hype around Brian Madjo is not only building, but I think he's justifying it every time he takes to the pitch. Yes, the obvious traits are there. He's got incredible physical attributes at just 17 years of age. We know that he's going to win duels with his strength and his imposing frame, and he's able to really assert himself in those battles with centre-halves. However, for me, what I've stressed in previous pods, the more impressive thing I've seen from him this summer is the maturity, the commitment, and the discipline in everything that he does. So whether that's his tracking back or his pressing, his ability to drop deeper, hold up play, and then link things together, his running into the channels to create space for others and to drag defenders out of position, and also his movement in the box to score goals. That's been the biggest highlight and the biggest positive for me. He's ticked a lot of crucial boxes, and in particular in this game, to see him perform the way he did against PSG, against the quality of centre-halves that they have, I think he should be really proud of his performance, as Emery no doubt will be. As mentioned in previous pods as well though, he does now need to continue to develop and improve. He needs to be clinical, continuing to develop his game in every aspect. Those chances that he missed, like I said, he will be kicking himself because he could have had 2-3 goals on the night had he been ruthless in front of goal. And also I think his first touch and his ability to sort of come deeper and hold the ball up and bring others into play. Yes, it's impressive as it is, but as with every player, there's always going to be room for improvement, and the same applies to him. So hopefully we'll see his all-round game continue to go from strength to strength. But without a doubt, it looks as though Villa have a highly impressive young talent on our hands, and hopefully he can continue to improve. And again, similarly to Hemmings, whether or not he stays or goes out on loan remains to be seen. But I think he's shown enough in the summer to warrant being given a chance to be part of the squad this season. On to the fifth and final point then, and that is a missed opportunity, but a fantastic effort. Barring that middle period of the first half where I thought PSG started to find their rhythm, they showed their class, they went through the gears and they really started to put pressure on us, I thought Villa were brilliant and arguably deserved more in this game. We created countless opportunities, we outfought them to win battles right across the pitch. I thought we produced a disciplined defensive display that limited the chances that they could create. But on our side, we'll no doubt rue those missed chances, as quite frankly, I thought we could have been out of sight by half-time the way we finished the first half. I thought there were 3 or 4 really, really good chances before Madjo did eventually draw us level. So we've got to be more ruthless in front of goal. And along with the manner in which we conceded the second goal, not only sort of the getting the defensive line wrong and not finding the offside trap, but also the reaction from that point onwards. I thought we were so slow to react and we were waiting for the flag to go up. You have to play to the whistle. Surely Emery has drilled that into the players, but no one sort of continued to follow Doué from that point, and it was sort of an easy finish for him at that stage. So it was disappointing that we weren't able to manage to win this game. Nevertheless, both individually and collectively, I think we can really build on this as we embark on a new season and what looks to be a new iteration of Unai Emery's Villa. Some may have feared the worst after PSG broke the deadlock. I kind of did. I thought we needed that first goal, and as they started to put the pressure on and really go through the gears, I thought we might be in trouble here. But I thought Villa responded in fantastic fashion. It builds optimism about what lies ahead, and with familiar and new faces still to return to the fold in the likes of Martinez, Konza, Watkins, Garnacho, Manzambi, there's so much more to look forward to, and I thought we were really impressive in this game as a sort of benchmark to where we can go to and how we can improve and kick on this season. So what were your takeaways from Villa's defeat to PSG? What did you make of the performances of Maatsen, Hemmings, Buendia, Madjo and others? Let me know your thoughts. If you're listening on YouTube, please leave your answers below. For those listening to the pod via Apple Podcasts, Spotify or other means, please head over to talkvilla.substack.com and get involved in the conversation over there. So that's a wrap on this episode of the Talk Villa podcast. I want to say a big thank you as always for taking the time to have a listen. Please do subscribe to the pod or channel depending on where you're listening. That's either on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or YouTube or wherever else you get your podcast from. Please give the episode a like or leave a positive review if you've enjoyed it. You can sign up to the Talk Villa Plus newsletter on Substack for ad-free Villa news, opinions, analysis, all delivered directly to you in your inbox. And there is also an option of a paid subscription for bonus content. All the details will be in the description of this podcast, but for more, please go to talkvilla.substack.com and subscribe, with plenty more content to come as the new season gets underway. All the social media links will also be in the description of this podcast. But for now, that is it. Villa unfortunately fall to defeat in Salzburg against PSG for the UEFA Super Cup. But as I said, so many positives to take away from this game. We've got Borussia Mönchengladbach in our final pre-season game on Saturday, and it's the start of the Premier League season next weekend as we make the trip to Brighton. But in recapping this game, given the quality of the opposition, it was always going to be a difficult challenge. Yes, there's disappointment over the outcome, but I really do feel as though Villa can come away from this game with their heads very much held high after what was a determined team display full of energy, intent and quality. It's made me feel more optimistic and more positive about what's to come this season, not only with what Emery is doing to develop, evolve and change the team to continue to be successful and to refresh things and keep things moving in the right direction, but also to see what the players like Madjo and Hemmings can do and provide for the squad this season if they stay, and that was sort of what we've got with the addition of others coming back still. I'll be back on Saturday after the Gladbach game to give my thoughts on that one, but until then, up the Villa.